Folks, what's up? This is Michael in the wee hours of the night on the graveyard shift with your daily trivia question. Once again, happy hump day. And don't pack up that umbrella just yet. You might want to keep it handy today because I think it's going to rain for pretty much off and on most of the day. So, and get over that hump and let's get on with the rest of the week. So the answer to the previous trivia question was the phrase evil empire, or what was called the Evil Empire speech. This was, of course, delivered by Ronald Reagan to the National Association of Evangelicals on March 8th of 1983, which was the focus of the trivia question, during what could easily be considered the height or the peak of the Cold War. Reagan referred to the Soviet Union as a quote-unquote evil empire and as the focus of evil in the modern world. Reagan asserted that the responsibility for the conflict between the U.S. and the Soviet Union was not mutual, which was the Soviet Union's assertion and claim, and that the Cold War and the ongoing nuclear arms race between the two nations overall was a battle between good and evil. This was a common theme with Reagan when he spoke about the Soviet Union. Good and evil, democracy versus communism, etc. This phrase was used very strategically, as were most things with Reagan when he spoke. He was known as the great communicator. However, a lot of things that he did were very provoking, very intimidating. They were intended to engage people and like Gorbachev, if you will. Reagan was making the case for deploying NATO nuclear-armed intermediate-range ballistic missiles, easy for me to say. Number one, he was setting up bargaining chips in arms talk with the Soviet Union, Soviet leaders. Number two, and essentially he was laying the groundwork for the ultimate collapse of the Soviet Union. So in very strategically making these speeches and using these phrases, he knew exactly what he was doing. The Soviet Union alleged that the United States was an imperialist superpower seeking to dominate the entire world. That was also a common theme with them when they spoke of the United States, and more specifically with Reagan. The Evil Empire speech was one of many by Reagan, emphasizing what he would refer to as the age-old struggle between good and evil, quote unquote. And these included like the Zero Option speech, Star Wars, which he spoke of often, as well as the famous Tear Down This Wall speech. Some historians over time have grown more favorable towards the use of the term, as you can imagine. Over time, you look back on things like that, and it's like, well, in today's day and age, that would have been nothing. And influence of the phrase evil empire in describing the Soviet Union, especially since Reagan is viewed as strategically bringing the Soviet Union to an end, which he does get credit for. There's plenty of YouTube footage of this famous speech. And a little geek factoid, George Bush channeled some aspects of the phrase evil empire when he made his Axis of Evil speech in the wake of 9/11/2001 terrorist attacks, which was also featured on a previous trivia question. So that's kind of a perfect example of how history kind of repeats itself and resonates accordingly. All right, folks, moving right along, getting over that hump. And continuing with presidents, here we go for March 9th, the new trivia question on this day. In 2015, this is pretty recent, U.S. President Barack Obama signs an executive order declaring a national emergency and issues sanctions over concerns of human rights violations and public corruption against this South American country. Good luck, folks. Stay dry today. And be safe. Thanks for all you do.